the basic Gator Choke, okay? The basic Gator Choke. I'm going to show the basic concepts real quick and then we'll break it down. My hands want to be towards the ceiling. So when I go for the choke, that's going from the neck into the armpit out. Driving the arm across. I want to have my hands to the ceiling. It doesn't matter if I roll this way, my hands end up on top. It doesn't matter if I roll all the way around and Gator roll them and my hands end up on top. The key is I don't want to end up like this with my hands on the floor. They need to be up towards the ceiling. Okay, so remember that when we do the roll. So we talked about some of the depth and the grips on the first video. Let's spin around a little bit here. Okay, and so now we're having our sprawl control. Usually I get to this Gator position because when I'm standing in my wrestling stance, my forearm is on my thigh. So that he can't get between my forearm and my thigh to take me down. So Levi ends up shooting in, and I'm like this, and my hand's at his bicep. This is how I get there a lot. I just sprawl out, and now I'm able to start to get to these chin whips and arms and Gator type controls, okay? So that's typically where I get to it from. So I'm going to reach in, and I've got this arm, and sometimes his arms will be reaching for my leg or whatnot. And this is a good spot because his elbow starts to get further away from his knee, and that's a bad position in jiu-jitsu. He's always going to be better when his elbows are close to his knees. So whether his arm is out or not, I'm going to try to take this arm and bring it all the way across his body. So I bring it all the way across nice and tight, and I deepen my hand inside of the well. Okay, so my shoulder's all the way inside of his trap, and now I've got my hands here. Which way I roll is all based on his resistance and his feet. So if Levi's up on this foot, well, I'm certainly not going to roll him that way. If he's up on the other foot, I'm not going the other way. So let's talk about just going on our own, okay? So if I want to knock him over, it's not just about lifting him up. I'm going to slide in underneath him and run towards him. I run up towards him. Okay, now I want to make sure that I'm pressing my elbows down super tight and I'm squeezing him. It's an arm triangle, so his shoulder's cutting his carotid off on this side. So I'm squeezing my elbows together and both of my hands are bit in. I run towards him, slightly facing up, not totally up, so that I get underneath his head. I don't want his head to pop out my armpit, and I don't want his head to come up through my arms either. So I want his head to get folded into him, and then if I can, I hook the leg, okay? Start to hook the leg and squeeze, and I'll get the choke. I'll show it from a different angle. Okay, and so that was just rolling right over. I'm able to get the arm across, I deepen the choke, I get the Gator. This time maybe he's going to not allow me to just tip him over real quick, so I'm going to drive my head under. I poke my head under first, my nose. I'm trying to poke my nose underneath and I'll come out this end. I'm already choking him along the way. As soon as I get here, I'm going to start to run, hook his leg, and then I'm going to be able to choke him, squeezing my elbows, and I get him to tap. Now those are good chokes, but there are also some escapes that can happen, and he can push my hips away to cause distance from me trying to hook his leg, for example. Right? I start running towards him, Levi can start playing this game. The negative is his arm can get stretched out, it makes it easier for me to push, but it also can screw me up coming up to try and catch him here. Okay? So since it's an arm triangle, I want to just cut it off with my legs. Okay? Let's scoot over just a little bit. Since it's an arm triangle, I'm going to cut it off with my legs and not worry about having to hook his leg. So I take my thigh and I press on his arm and squeeze. And I've got his pressure coming down on his tricep or his bicep to his neck. Okay, so if we're here, I come out, I can roll that forward and squeeze. Even if I need to adjust, you'll notice that his arm is here, and maybe with my legs I moved it over to here so that it could choke him better, right? Even if he was here, I slide my hips away on top, I walk forward, pressing that arm down, and he's going to choke. One more time. Alright, so maybe deep, I get inside the well, I get underneath, I don't run towards him, I just break his tricep down with my thigh. One more time. Basic Gator Choke.